welcome to another very insightful episode of The Harvest with me, Carmel Fisher. Today, I am super excited to have a conversation with Ashley Kalinauskas. She is the founder and CEO of Torigen Pharmaceuticals, a woman of many accolades, including being recognized as a former Forbes 30 under 30 in 2020. Amongst others, we're excited to hear more about how you went, Ashley, from a thesis to a thriving company. But without further ado, welcome, and please tell us more about who you are.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you for having me on. So, like you mentioned, my name is Ashley, and I'm the founder and CEO of a really amazing startup company. And at our company, we help pets after a cancer diagnosis with a personalized cancer therapy. And when I was in graduate school at the University of Notre Dame, we were focused, and the lab that I was in was focused on developing personalized cancer treatments, primarily for human patients with prostate cancer, ovarian cancer, breast cancer. And we had a lot of data. We had a lot of mice and rat models. We had patents and publications. But then it kind of comes to like, well, now what? How do we take what we've actually worked on in the lab and commercialize it in order to help patients? And that's when we stepped back and really understood, well, what about the veterinary market? Inside of animal health, 50% of all dogs over the age of 10 are diagnosed with cancer. And when it comes to really just one of the biggest problems facing veterinary medicine is the lack of specialists needed in order to treat just the millions and millions of pets that come down with cancer. So there are only about 400 veterinary oncologists practicing nationwide. And what we have with our personalized immunotherapy is a way to have any veterinarian be able to treat cancer after it's diagnosed. So when I was still a student and in grad school, the first patient that was treated was my professor's own dog after a malignant squamous cell carcinoma was found in her mouth. And that was truly the light bulb moment for us to say, hey, it's going to take 10 plus years and hundreds of millions of dollars to have this therapy potentially make it to humans. But we have a big problem inside of veterinary medicine, and this can be a product that can help treat pets.
Incredible, really motivational and exciting to know that we can help our fellow companions. But is there a specific cancer that you focus on, or is it something that you discovered to be a general form of cancer treatment?
Yeah, so we can work with any solid-based tumors. The primary tumors that we work with are solid tumors on the organs like hemangiosarcoma, which is a tumor of the spleen, or cutaneous or oral tumors, tumors on the skin or in the mouth. So mast cell tumors, soft tissue sarcomas, as well as oral melanomas and squamous cell carcinoma are tumors that we can help.
Wonderful. As a female entrepreneur, did you face any significant challenges as being a female entrepreneur in the health tech space? And if any, how did you overcome them?
So I think as a female entrepreneur, the problems that I faced were more being a first-time founder. There's a lot of things going, right from grad school into starting a company that I didn't know. And I really had to learn those on the job while building this business. So, I think from a female perspective, like when you go into a room and it's all men investment associates, of course, you have to really showcase not only your expertise in the business that you're building, but you do have to fight a little bit harder to go up that mountain. But more importantly, I think, being a first-time founder, there were a lot of things that I didn't realize or things hiding behind the door that if you've done it a few times, gosh, if I were to do it again, you know exactly where to look.
We do learn best from experience. And then more and more, there are female entrepreneurs out there that we can kind of look up to and also kind of, reach out to in terms of mentorship. So I think the space is growing and it's really exciting. So can you explain in layman's terms how your autologous cancer vaccine for pets works? Like what makes it innovative?
Yeah. So what autologous means is it's tumor that is sourced from that patient that is going back only to that patient. So it's truly a personalized therapy. So when a dog comes to a veterinary clinic and they have this lump or bump, what's going to happen is the veterinarian's going to look at it and say, "Ooh, I think we should maybe take this off," especially if they do what's called a fine needle aspirate to look at the cells under the microscope and they say, "Yeah, this doesn't look normal." So when they go in and they surgically remove that lump or bump, we request that the veterinarian send that tumor sample into Torigen. And when we receive that tumor sample, we request it to come in fresh. We give the veterinary clinic priority overnight shipping labels for them to send it right into us. Once that tumor hits our door, what we're going to do is we're going to take representative portions of that tumor and save them and put it in our -80 freezer. We're going to take the rest of that tumor and put it into what's called formalin, which is how you can get a diagnosis on exactly what are we dealing with. So about 50% of the tumors that we receive in could be benign, meaning it's nothing for us to worry about and aren't going to affect the health of that pet at all, which is phenomenal. But the other 50% are going to be malignant and ones that we do have to worry about a local recurrence, a potential for metastases, and, having a pet with cancer. So if we have a malignancy and it's a tumor type that we can move forward with, we could take those cells out from our freezer and we could utilize those cells to be the antigenic backbone for a series of immunotherapeutic vaccines that we create, where we take the patient's own tumor cells, we preserve the antigens on the surface of those cells, we combine it with an innovative adjuvant, and we provide back this series of vaccines to help stimulate the immune system against cancer.
Very interesting. So this, in my understanding, is more of a vaccine to prevent the onslaught of that, or is it a treatment once it's actually occurred, once the cancer is actually prevalent?
Yeah, so it's a therapeutic vaccine, meaning that it's after the cancer has occurred, with the goal of being able to have our body recognize that what we allowed to grow or what the pet had allowed to grow is truly foreign. So one of like the really interesting facts when it comes to cancer is that inside of our body, we have billions of cells that are going to die today. And of those cells that are dying and being replaced and replenished, there's a chance that at least one of those cells can become cancer. And inside of our body, that cell that could become cancer, if it has a mutation inside of the DNA, that cell should self-destruct on itself and it should collapse and it should be one of those cells that gets pushed out. But cancer occurs when that doesn't happen. Cancer is going to occur when that cell has a DNA mutation but doesn't die. It has found a way to not collapse in on itself, and it's actually found a way to start replicating. So then our immune system really should be the next cell population to understand, like, well, time out here. This is a group of cells that have now grown that should not be here. And our immune system, when healthy and strong, is able to make that recognition. And we can actually recognize those proteins on the surface of the cell as foreign and stimulate a stronger response against it. But cancer is going to occur when we took that few little clumps of cells, they didn't die on themselves, they didn't get eaten by the immune system. They found a way to block the immune system from being able to recognize them. So a cancer cell is truly hiding in plain sight. With a goal of a cancer vaccine, especially a therapeutic vaccine, meaning we're treating the patient after they've already had cancer. It's about being able to give those proteins, those antigens back to the immune system so that the body can finally recognize, whoa, 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 that was a cell that was hiding in plain sight. And if we see that protein again, we're going to stimulate a response against it. So it's a really great way of saying, we're taking the fingerprint of what went wrong with that mutational protein that's now on the surface of that cancer cell and creating a personalized therapeutic in order to finally fight what went wrong.
Incredible. Now, talk to us about success rates. Anything you can shed some light on where that's concerned?
Yeah, so we've published data. We have some really interesting data that we've done for dogs with metastatic hemangiosarcoma, which is really one of the worst cancers that we see in veterinary medicine. It's a tumor that affects the spleen, happens in a lot of golden retrievers, labs, pit bulls that tend to be like the most predominant. And what we've been able to find is an equivalent overall efficacy rate compared to maximum tolerated dose chemo. So we've been able to say, hey, even with the worst cancer in veterinary medicine, we've been able to increase survival by about 3.5 times and have equivalent overall survival compared to that maximum tolerated dose chemo. So that was really one of our first like really good light bulb moments, because what it did is it gave us a really binary endpoint of yes, we can increase survival by utilizing and leveraging the immune system for a very, very aggressive cancer. Other tumor types that we've published data for, we've presented peer-reviewed data at the Veterinary Cancer Society on patients, dogs with mast cell tumors, so high-grade or high-risk mast cell tumors. Again, these can be extremely aggressive, very deadly, and typically the 1-year survival rate is less than 10%. And we have a 1-year survival rate of about a third of our patients live out past a year, so about 35%. So that was really interesting too, because one of the things that immunotherapy is really good at is a certain subset of a population has a really great likelihood of being able to respond. Not every patient will respond extremely well to immunotherapy, like it's just known. There's a lot of factors that play in, but for a subset of patients, you can really increase that overall survival. The hard part is going into a therapy like this, you don't know where the patient is going to fall on that survival curve. And for us, that's why we've really said, being an affordable treatment option and being accessible is what the veterinary market needs.
100%. And on the, discussion of capital and in the world of venture capital specifically, how did you navigate funding rounds for, such a specialized field as veterinary oncology?
I am still figuring that one out, I think, every day. But I've raised about 20 million in capital. And I have a pretty long cap table because a lot of my investors have been angel investors that have lost a dog to cancer. I have a lot of veterinarians who are equity holders in my business, which is truly amazing. And then I have some more of our mainstream traditional venture capital groups. The VCs that we work with have all, biotech background where they understand and recognize that animal health has this really amazing stability behind it. And, they don't have to deal with the potential for insurance problems or reimbursement. Less than 2% of pet owners have insurance on their pet in America by the time their dog is older. Globally, that percentage is actually, pretty high in like Europe, even Australia has a pretty stable pet insurance percentage. But here in the US, like it's not even a factor. So investors see it as stable, growing, and they don't have to worry about insurance, and with a really exciting company and product. From where we are moving to next, it's about being able to expand our product pipeline and also, really focus on being able to leverage the immune system with immunotherapies, but move outside of oncology and be able to help pets with atopic dermatitis, which is the itchy dog market, which is a billion-dollar market each year, as well as a few other autoimmune-based diseases.
Excellent. So a big possibility for scaling, obviously, given the forecasted industry out there. And tell us about your team and how you bring together the right people with the right mindsets and the right skills and training to help move your mission forward.
Absolutely. I've gotten extremely lucky by being able to really leverage great relationships in order to add on to my team. So I brought on a chief medical officer, a amazingly well-renowned expert veterinary oncologist who joined my team back in 2019. Also, a PhD immunologist as my chief innovation officer has really been my right-hand man in regards to building up this business. And then I've just recently hired a full-time chief financial officer to join us that has a ton of venture capital and private equity experience that is all about, how can we grow and how can we scale this business together? So in terms of, where did we meet each of them, it was networking. It was being able to know the industry, be able to recognize the growth and the direction we wanted to take this business. Of course, putting out, job descriptions of who we're looking for, and then of course, being able to talk and discuss and make sure that everybody was on the same page. So right now I have 25 members of my team. So that was the executive team. And then underneath, we have my sales team, a clinical team, research and development, and manufacturing.
Sounds like all the right fundamentals are in place and, to set you off on the right foot for a successful end goal. And I guess there is no end goal because the industry is just emerging and growing rapidly as we speak. Now, you've obviously had significant success at a very young age. And amongst that are all the accolades we mentioned earlier. One of those was Forbes 30 Under 30. Another is the Animal Health Innovation USA Award. And I'm sure multiple others. But has that contributed to your impact in the industry in attracting the right team? How much of that was actively pursued in terms of marketing? So talk to us more about how you conceptualized or worked your way towards being as acclaimed as you are and then the impact that has brought to your business.
So with the awards and accolades, I think they're all fantastic and truly amazing. And I think, our cause and our mission is so great, being able to help pets after a cancer diagnosis or after, another autoimmune based disease. Like that part is truly incredible. I think I'm almost like sometimes I get a little embarrassed when, I'm presenting and they're like listing off all of the awards. I'm like, oh my gosh, I did that. It's incredible. I am so appreciative of it, but I'm more proud about the company that I've built. So I think that's really what I rest against is the business that we're building. That's what excites me. That's what gets me up and going every day. And I love when the company wins awards versus me personally, because I think I like to hide a little bit more. And I know being a CEO is about that public face. And yeah, I think it's exciting, but it's also like, all right, like back to business, back to growing.
On that note, how would you inspire up and coming female entrepreneurs, all entrepreneurs, but more specifically females in the space or any space that are looking to start their own businesses and make an impact as you?
Totally. I mean, I love working with student startups or first-time founders, especially first-time female founders. I think that there's so much that we can pass on between each other in order for, me to say, hey, here are some of the mistakes that I made. And here's what I think, the best route and option could be. Sometimes it's great to hear it from, someone who has, startup business experience in order to say, hey, here's what my vision for what you're telling me is, and are we aligned? Like, because if there's a bigger vision there, I'm happy to open up my network of angel investors or investor groups. And, my goal would be to help you succeed. Earlier this week, I was at an awesome event in New York. It was called Women's Venture Connect, and we went through kind of the state of the industry. And, we've been saying for years that there's a potential global recession coming after COVID. But the reality is that, we are on the precipice and just a few little boulders can move and it can really cause a global recession. But What's so important about female founders is that even though we receive only 2% of venture capital dollars, we're able to get to profitability faster. We're able to secure stronger exit opportunities. And women founders are more likely to make their business get through a recession. So if I look at that, I see that as wins of success because it's hard out there. If I'm an investor and I'm getting 5%, interest on my savings account, why would I invest that in a really risky startup company when I could just see my money grow there? So there definitely is market dynamics that play against founders, no matter what your industry is. But as female founders, I have a higher confidence that we can position ourselves and our businesses for success, but we need to work together in order to really leverage our networks and be able to help each other succeed.
100%. Look into the future of pet healthcare. What would you say are the developments that excite you the most?
Oh, I think in animal health, there is just so much opportunity. When we talk about the billion-dollar products in animal health, we have flea, tick, heartworm. And then we have atopic dermatitis or the itchy dog market. So there are other diseases that affect our pets, diseases like cancer, ophthalmic diseases, IBD or gastrointestinal distress. Being able to really take and understand what's being done on the human market and adapt it to veterinary medicine is really important because owners want the best for their pets. They are more willing to pay for their pet's own healthcare than they are their own healthcare. And I think that right there is extremely telling that owners are really demanding a higher level of care. They're demanding more veterinary visits. We don't have enough specialists to keep up with the demand. And our veterinary clinics have grown, which is great, but we don't have enough veterinarians graduating and coming out at the experience level to replace the ones that are retiring after 40 plus years in the field. So I think we're at this really interesting intersection where we want pet health to be like human health. We, of course, need it to be affordable, and we need more innovation and more drug development to really help our pets after a diagnosis.
In terms of the vision and future for Torigen Pharmaceuticals, tell us where you see the company in, say, 5 to 10 years. Would you ever go public? If so, why? If not, why?
Going public terrifies me. So I don't think I would be the one at the helm to bring this business public, but there have been some really knockout winners on the public market in animal health. So Pfizer's billion-dollar animal health company is Zoetis. Eli Lilly has Elanco, Boehringer Ingelheim, Merck. These guys all have billion-dollar animal health companies. Few are public, few are private, but there's just a huge growth potential that can be there. In regards to where do I see my business over the next 5 years, I really and truly love what we're doing in oncology. Like, we're making a difference every day. Over the next couple of months, I'm launching a specialty pathology service, which is us being able to do all of the diagnosing of those cancers completely in-house and bringing together some of the top experts in the industry in order to accomplish that. I'm super excited because I think that we can really start carving out a strong market opportunity of saying all tumor samples to Torigen. And by us receiving every tumor sample, it takes any guesswork out from the veterinary clinic and helps me grow. And then if I can tap into that billion-dollar itchy dog market, especially with the novel products that we're looking to develop, I think that in itself could position us for a very strong acquisitionable opportunity, or the potential to bring this company public. If the company were to be sold tomorrow, me and a core set of our team we would go back and do it again. Like we would find other human health products to bring over to veterinary medicine because it is such an exciting time and we know that we're able to do it.
Wonderful. Ashley Kalinauskas, thank you so much for being on The Harvest with me, Carmel Fisher. Where can our viewers find more information on Torigen, Ashley, yourself? Please give us a space where they can connect with you.
Absolutely. So our website is www.torigen.com, TORIGEN.com. On the website, you can find more information on how to contact us. Normally info@torigen.com works, but my email is ashley@torigen.com, ASHLEY. So if you have any questions, if you're a female founder that's starting something amazing and you want someone to review your pitch deck, send it over my way and let's see if there's a really potential great synergy in order to open up my network.
Fantastic and so generous. Thank you so much, Ashley, and all the very best with Torigen. We'll be keeping our eye out on the coming developments. You've been listening to The Harvest. Thank you. Stay tuned for more.
That's it for The Harvest, available anywhere you find podcasts. Stay tuned for more.